Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! It's snowing, isn't it? Yeah. But is it an ambience? Okay, no, it's... Alright, I'm gonna wait to clean things up again. Okay, so I have a thing to rant about today. Also, I'm wearing these again because, I mean, they don't look bad. Like, they definitely work. It's just, it's gonna take me getting used to the, I can't see around me as well. Can you step by? Fagoo? Wanna chat? You like to read, don't you, Steven? What am I saying? Of course you do. Seriously, do you read a lot? Few things, sure. Oh, really? I'm curious about the kinds of things you read. I love reading, so I think this must mean that we have a lot of things in common, Fagoo. It's very fair. So, the level 5 CEO, Akihiro Hino, has basically made a few pretty bold statements around game development as a whole. The one I want to target the most is his claim that AI has the potential to shift AAA game development from 5 to 10 years to 2 years. Yes, so does actually making games. Now, you might be like, what do you mean? They're obviously making games, like level 5 releases. Yeah, they sure do. But let me go to Game Freak. Let me go to Game Freak. And we're gonna go back to the old days. You know, back when I think most people would agree games were in general more impactful. Had more soul to them. More love behind them. You could feel the passion in them. Pokemon, Red, Blue, and Yellow. Those 3 games. Well, Red and Green came out in 1996 in Japan. Same year, Pokemon Blue came out. I think actually Red, Green, and Blue all came out at the same time or very close to one another. Yellow was 1998, 2 years later, for an updated version of the game with different sprites, different assets. You know, color. It actually has color when you put it into a Game Boy Color. That's 2 years. And they made basically a new game because it does have, it's not mechanically new, but it's new enough to say it's a new game. Yellow is distinct enough from Red, Green, and Blue that, yeah, it's its own thing. Pokemon Stadium. That, you can't deny, is a whole new game. Was also 1998. 2 years later. From the original release of the Pokemon games. What about North America? Well, Red and Blue came out in 1998. Hey You Pikachu, 2000. The Pokemon TCG game, 2000. Pokemon Snap, 1999. Pokemon Pinball, 1999. Pokemon Stadium, 2000. Pokemon Gold and Silver, 2000. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, 2000. Pokemon Puzzle League, 2000. Pokemon Stadium 2, 2001. Can you imagine getting that many games? Especially the quality of those games. These days? Like, yeah, Pokemon Stadium was basically just a battle simulator with fully 3D assets in the early days of 3D. Like, you just don't see that these days. Honestly, of all of the companies that still release games regularly, Game Freak, with the Pokemon series, is kind of one of the fastest. And if I skip way ahead here to modern day, Oh, I've seen you around. You're Lucha. There, your local rant name's Lucha. Ah, that's how I laugh. Here for a little while, laughing, sometimes fake crying, other times... Ah, the life of a performer. I get that. But, Legends ZA was 2025. Legends Arceus... Or it's not even that. Let's see. I'm going to try to stick to real game releases. Scarlet and Violet was 2022. Detective Pikachu Returns was 2023. Then Legend ZA was 2025. So between mainline games of Scarlet and Violet and ZA, there was 3 years. Legends Arceus was also 2022. So we got 2 Pokemon games in 1 year. With Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl being 2021. New Pokemon Snap being 2021. See, Game Freak is still releasing games, and we're getting games every 2 to 3 years. And they're solid, good games. Like... Ah, Steven, now that you're here, maybe you can help me out with a problem. Got carried away by a yodel sweater. Wasn't sure what to do with my surplus, so I thought I'd give you what I don't need. Alright. I mean, I don't even know exactly what level 5 makes other than Yokai Watch. Which they made like 2 of and then stopped, because it wasn't competing with Pokemon. Now Sky is saying Fagoo, it is spreading. Yes! The Fagoo must spread. Like, if he's over here complaining that game development is taking too long, then maybe they need to actually make games. Because it doesn't take long when you keep your scope restrained and actually make games. Like, yeah, sure, AI is the cheat code to make crap quickly. It's not gonna look good. It's not gonna be good. You're going to be able to tell. Like, even now, like, the things made by AI that are half decent, you can still tell. Like, that Twitch streamer, Neurosama or whatever. There's no mistaking that they're an AI. You know. You simply know. There will never be a hiding it. You know. They will never have truly human responses to things. I honestly... It drives me up the wall that that streamer is as popular as it is, because it really shouldn't be. Like, so I just realized I should probably mute that tab before, because I have a Facebook post brought up here, which that has this guy's claims on it, or statements, I should say. But like, it drives me up the wall that that thing is as popular as it is. Like, yeah, it's a cute idea. But the fact that it... I mean, okay, it's better than Pirate Software having the Twitch hype train record. But man, are there so many far more deserving actual human creators. And to hear people popping in and going, oh, but all the work that the creator of that AI has been doing, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but don't you think that real human creators should be the ones to hold the hype train record? Which is why I didn't like when Pirate Software held it, because he's a cockroach. He's a roach. He's not a person. He's just a bunch of roaches in a sweater that loves MS Paint. Here, Snowfolk perfection. See, I can do it. Perfectly eyeballing, too. I'm not trying to do perfect. It's just working out. Let's go talk with Pinky. I haven't done that yet. But, like, he's also like, if the impression of AI is evil takes hold, it could hinder technological advancement. No, AI taking hold is going to hinder technological advancement. Sparkles, it's so fab you're here. Boop, what's the latest? I think I read comics more than most folks do. What I'm reading now is called Seriously Not Funny. Comic quotes, stand-up comics. Stand-up comics are folks who like to hang out in dark rooms and tell each other jokes, I guess? I'm not explaining it right, but I'm totally hooked. Folks on a stare, I like to laugh, so maybe I should try adding stand-up comedy to my repertoire. I mean, yeah, being funny is always good. Like, it's one of those things where it's like AI as a concept, and like let's go with the realm I am most familiar with talking about this. AI upscaling for video games. That has become the, we don't need to optimize our game, they can just upscale it. That is literally holding us back. It's not pushing us forward, it's holding us back because developers aren't optimizing their games anymore. So I was really focused on this. What are you doing? Currently crafting a holiday candle. See how I do at it. You learn by doing. Yeah, I'd love to know how to make it. Sure. Like, there is no field where AI is going to push us forward, except in the field of AI. That is the only field where we are going to move forward with the use of AI, is within the field of AI. Much like, you know, let's say, graphics card development does not push medical innovation. What pushes medical innovation is development of tools for medical purposes. See where I'm getting at? Yes, a computer can be used for that, but an RTX 5090 is not what they're going to be using for that anyway. They'll be using a workstation graphics card. Video game visuals are not important for technological advancement. AI being able to mimic them is not important for technological advancement. The only thing AI progressing is going to do is make AI better. And people a lot lazier than they already are. Like, I really wish these big game developers who go on like they care so much would just come out and admit that they hate what they do. Because it's clear that's what it is. They hate it. They need to just stop. Hey, my fabulous bestie. It's just cold out there. Let's chat. Kinda low-key picky about my chairs. Mainly they gotta look cute. Trendier the better. And if they're comfy, it's totes a bonus. It's very fair. You got a cute chair back there. Like, it is painfully obvious that these people just simply hate what they're doing. Which is why they're looking for ways to not do it, but still make money. They like the money, but they hate actually making things. And if they would just come out and admit it, I'd be okay with that. I would be fine with that. If they would just come out and admit that they hate what they're doing, they don't actually want to be doing it, and that's why they're looking for every AI shortcut under the sun, power freaking to them. But they're not. They're trying so desperately to say what they're doing is right. And that if you don't like it, you're the problem. And I'm sorry, no. No, I'm not. I am not the problem because I want real human ingenuity and creativity. I'm not in the wrong because I want to feel the passion of those game developers. When you play the original Pokemon games, original Generation 1, you'd be so happy you'd come all this way to see us, even on a Sunday. You know why? Because talking with you while I'm working is the best part of my day. Oh. Like when you play the original Pokemon games, you can feel the love and passion from that development team. And then when you play Gold and Silver, and then later Crystal, you can feel their passion being channeled even more. It's more focused. They know better what they want now. They realize some of the things they did didn't work, but they saw how to fix them and they fixed them. I want you to name me a AAA game these days that's not Pokemon, because you can still kind of feel that in Pokemon, that elicits that level of feeling and has a development team small enough that you can actually tell that it's that there's actual passion behind the project. Because that's another problem. And I know that people will hear me say that. Hello, Bianca. Thanks for stopping by, Steven. Let's talk. You know what I totally love? Music shows on TV. There's all kinds to watch. Everyone on Love Star sings. You guessed it, love ballads. Screech-alongs is so metal and everyone has the best hair. Beep Boop Deep Doop has all the best dance music. I can jump around my living room whenever it's on. Fancy freestyles where all the rap stars of tomorrow make their debut. I can't rap very well, but I always try. With all those shows, I get to hear new music, and I get to be even more inspired to be a superstar. If I ever get the chance to be on Love Star, I'm going to sing the best love ballad of all time. I'm going to help folks fall in love with my singing. And with each other. Aww, it's very sweet. But I know, people are going to hear me say, development teams are too large, and go, but AI is taking their jobs, so, they'd be making smaller development teams to have AI involved. Like, no. Teams are too large for the same reason as that whole fun saying of too many cooks in the kitchen. Duskwalker, was hoping I'd see you. Wanna chat? Steven, you gotta check out this awesome snowflake I just oh, it melted. Aw. I'll talk with, wait, no, we already talked with Sky. Because she was out and about. Like, if you go back and look, like, actually, let me do this really quick. Pokemon Red and Green credits. One director, 4 programmers, 2 character designers, a musician, a sound effects person, 1 game design, 4 monster design, 4 scenario, 1 parametric designer, 3, 4, 5 map designers. My mouse is a little glitchy. 4 debugs, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 special thanks, 3 producers, 1 executive producer. So that's 4, 10, 14, 19, 20, 24, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 people made Red and Blue, or Red and Green, the original games. Spike, nice to see you. Let's talk. I like to drift off while I watch snowflakes fall from the sky. It is very nice to do that. That would probably be the list of programmers for a modern game. You cannot tell me a modern game has reached even remotely the heights of Pokemon Red and Green. With more money spent on marketing than it ever had. So it's not a marketing issue. It's simply, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's no passion left. That's what is causing video games to take 4, 8, 10 years to make when the game devs aren't just having too much fun. Like, Hollow Knight Silksong, you can feel that passion I'm talking about. Just even watching people play that game, you can really feel the passion of Team Cherry, who spent a really long time developing Hollow Knight Silksong. And I honestly believe the claim that apparently they made, that they were simply just having too much fun developing the game and forgot to release it. Like, and I know that's more or less meant to be a joke, but it's clear they were just having way too much fun developing the game. And you can feel that in the game. You don't get that out of Battlefield 6. You know? You don't get that out of Final Fantasy 16. Hell, you don't get that out of Final Fantasy 14. Funny thing is, you want to know somewhere you do get that from an MMO? The original Phantasy Star Online 2. It also had a pretty small team. Most of the team for the original Phantasy Star Online 2 was voice actors. And that's because every character was voiced. And most of them have unique voice actors. Some of them it was shared, like it was a more generic NPC. But if they had a name, they had their own voice actor. Like a proper spoken name. Because all the NPCs have names, it's just, you know, some, you know, it's like the quest counter lady didn't get her own voice actor. And that game has virtually no padding. It's all story. It's great. Like, I apologize for this very impassioned rant, but as you might be able to tell, I'm very passionate about game design. I'm very passionate about this stuff. And hearing people in the games industry going on about how AI will solve all their problems. No, it won't. Because you're the problem. Like, there is a reason why people have been gravitating more and more and more towards indie games. And it's not the long development time. The reason people have been gravitating more towards indie games is because indie games are basically what we fell in love with. Only back then they were AAA. Like, I saw a thing of someone saying, there's no way Claire, you know, Expedition 33 was, you know, had such a small development team because it's AAA quality. Why not? Are you really that far up the AAA industry's rear end that you can't imagine a small team being able to make amazing products? Because all of those games that are hailed as the best of all time were made by small teams. Like, sure, the teams were always progressively getting larger and larger, and games were generally becoming more and more crap as that happened. But Final Fantasy VII's development team is like a fifth to a sixth of the size of Final Fantasy XVI's. Final Fantasy VII is hailed as one of the greatest games of all time. 16 is mediocre at best. Final Fantasy VII, for its day, was visually stunning, which should also be a lesson to people in visual styling. Because released around that same time was Star Ocean, Second Story. And when you go back and look at even the original Star Ocean Second Story, it's basically painted backgrounds and, you know, 2D sprites running around the world. Still looks good. If that was an indie game released today, that would be, you know, really good visuals for them. Final Fantasy VII, if a game released like that today, it would be considered a shitpost because of how bad it looks. Even though for its day, it looked amazing. That was for its day. Which is why if your game's entire selling point is its visuals and it's not a artistic style, just don't even release it. Just don't bother. Like, if that's all you've got going is a visual style that's going to be, you know, completely outdated and ignored within 2 years probably, just don't even bother. Just don't bother. Actually make something worth people's time. I mean, even if you're doing a very stylized game, if the only thing you have going for you is your visual style, no, actually give us something. If you want to make artwork, just make artwork. You know, like, I'm not saying don't make pretty art, but if you want to just make artwork, just make artwork. I don't see why it needs to be a video game. You can just make artwork. Like, and I know the response, again, is, but AI will enable smaller teams. Like, but it doesn't. What enables smaller teams is just having fewer people. Like, Team Cherry did not sit around for 6 years and then use an AI to hammer out a game within a year. They spent that time developing with their, like, what, 12-person development team, if it's even that? And what they've created is a 2D platformer that is going to stand the test of time. That is already been hailed and nominated as one of the best games of the decade. And they did it with a small team. And they probably could have done it faster if they had actually been working towards releasing it faster. Like, I'm gonna be real, they probably could have done it faster. But that's kind of another thing that the games industry has done that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Crunch time. Crunch time has been attempted to be done away with. Which in a way is good. But the problem is crunch time generally only was really a thing when producers would suddenly increase the scope of a project midway through a project. You know, when you're nearing the end of your alpha phase and the producer goes, hey, wouldn't it be cool if? That is basically the most feared sentence you could hear working in game development. Even today, that's still a pretty feared sentence, because that means there's more work coming. Because that producer is about to tell you something that they would love to see in the game, and you're doing it. You are making that happen, like it or not. Like, I'm fine with crunch time being gone, but not the way they got rid of it. Because the way they've attempted to get rid of crunch time is basically, well, we'll just extend the deadline instead of keeping the deadline where it was and telling the producers to frick off. Wait, didn't I already check my mail today? Or did I completely forget? I completely forgot. Nice. Hazel, question for you, Steven. I was working in my garden. I must have got carried away yelling at aphids and slugs and stuff. Just looked up and saw my neighbors running scared. Does that affect on everybody? Yeah, nah, you don't. They were probably just out for a run. They weren't scared. No one here could be scared of you. You're Hazel. You're tiny. You're a bean. Speaking of, there's Hazel. What is up, Steven? A rant, that's what. More chaps. They're standing on the beach, they go down their islands. I wonder what life's like out there. Not really. So I'm content with life here for the next couple days, and then I'm going to be moving away to a new town, becoming its mayor, I hear. Yeah. Yep, pockets are full. But I imagine I'm going to be going on this rant many more times as the AAA industry continues to basically make us never want to support them again. At least makes me never want to support them again. The thing is, though, I know I'm still going to support some games. Unless they go very egregious. Like, when it comes close to release time, if we find out that, like, you know, say, frickin' Splatoon Raiders was, like, 80% AI, no, I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying it. Even if it was 20% AI, I'd probably still not buy it. Because I like games, not AI slop. And that's more than enough AI slop to ruin a game. And, like, there are some uses for AI in game development that I am okay with. Placeholder textures, as long as they're obvious and always replaced before final project, or final release. Or at least replaced soon after final release if they are somehow missed, like with Expedition 33. I'm okay with that. Concept art. I'm okay with an artist having an idea and turning to an AI to generate that idea for them and then them redraw it. Because you know what they would do prior to that? They'd go to Google and type in the idea they had, find some things that look similar, and then redraw them in their own style. That's how concept artists tended to work, even before. Is they would use the internet to find resources to get inspiration from and modify them. And if they didn't actually redraw them in their own style, that's called plagiarism, and usually they get fired over this. This has actually happened with multiple trading card games recently. Of artists just lifting artwork. Basically tracing over it and calling it a day. Yeah, that's not cool. We should give the same response to an artist that uses AI to make a thing and then just traces the AI drawing. Or just uses the AI to make a thing and calls it their own. They should be fired. Because that's something that this guy brought up was, oh, but, you know, a kitchen knife is used for cooking, but could also be used to murder somebody. It's like, yes. Yes, you are technically correct. In that same way, this can be used for playing a game, but I could also bludgeon you to death with it. That's a bit of a straw man argument. Literally any object can be used to kill somebody. And you want to know the funny thing? Knives are regulated. You think I'm crazy there. I mean, this is for sure a Canada thing. And knives. Canada. The CBSA ASFC prohibited knife. Automatic knives are a knife, those are banned, and those are described as a Knife that has a blade that opens by pressing a mechanism. Those are banned in Canada. You're not allowed to have one. They are just banned. A centrifugal knife that opens with the flick of a wrist. These include folding and butterfly knives. Are banned. You may not own any of those. You can own a trainer for a butterfly knife, but not a real thing. It cannot be a proper, it can be a slab of metal, it just can't be a sharpened slab of metal. Ironically, the slab of metal is just as dangerous as the sharpened one, but... A push dagger. The handle is designed to be held inside a fist with an extending blade. So basically, here's the funny part of why that's a stupid ban. Basically this, only there's meant to be a blade here. Screwdriver on a pocket knife works just fine for that, though. But these are also regulated and can only be a certain length to basically make doing this a good chance of being non-fatal. You're getting the picture. Things are regulated when they can be dangerous. So why shouldn't we be regulating AI in that same way? And that's not even everything. There are more types of knives and stuff banned in Canada. Only it goes more into hyper-specifics. These are the general categories. Don't even get me started on guns. Those are even more heavily regulated because a gun can be used for hunting. It can also be used to kill somebody. And it takes very little effort to use it to kill somebody. So those are very heavily regulated in every country that has sense. Sorry, US. I have to take that jab every now and again. No hard feelings. I know you guys have a hard time actually managing to regulate dangerous things. And I'm sure a lot of you would like to see them more regulated, but still allowed. Because that's the funny thing. You can still own guns up here in Canada. You can still own them. You just have to go through the steps to get them. Makes them a lot harder to get. That's what regulation means. But AI can very easily be used to encourage self-harm. It can be used to plagiarize people's work. It can be used to slander people. Those are all crimes. Those are all things that should be very heavily regulated about AI. Because those are all crimes it is committing. And you're telling it to commit those things. And if you're the creator of these AIs, you're creating them with the ability to do these things. That needs regulated. That AI being used by this game developer to shorten the development time of games by presumably writing programming for them. Well, whose programming did it steal to know what it's doing? Shouldn't they be accredited and paid? Shouldn't they have just been brought on to program that thing for you? Oh, I'm sorry, that would have cost money. I'm getting very angry at all this crap, but it's because it frustrates me to no freaking end. Because these people are going on like they're doing nothing wrong. They're the person walking down the street with a knife, stabbing random people, and going, well, I'm doing nothing wrong. You know, this is just a kitchen knife. It's for cooking. They're the same people that would look at the regulations around the Canadian knife bans and be like, those are stupid. Why are you doing that? Mostly to protect idiots from themselves. Because you know what all of those knives have in common? They're very easy to hurt yourself with. Very easy to hurt yourself with. And they're equally as easy to hurt other people with. Kind of funny when you think about it. Given, let's imagine an artist using AI to generate things. They are both being a danger to other artists and themselves by generating crap with that AI. It's the same thing, just for their profession. Like, I'm going to stop ranting here because I'm kind of ranting in circles, and I've been at this now for like 40 some minutes. So I feel like it's about time I stop this rant. I just want to say, Mr. Akihiro Hino, with all due respect, go frick yourself. Get out of the games industry. You clearly don't want to be in it. So go away. Let people that actually want to make games take your position, and then maybe Level 5 will be releasing games every couple of years. That's going to be it for today. I apologize that this was more or less an angry rant, but I am getting so sick of seeing this stuff. Also, cat. She's budging my finger. She also just licked my knuckle. But that's going to be it for today. I apologize for this long angry rant. Sometimes I just need to rant. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys back here tomorrow for the third to last day of this year. See you all then.